Hey there. Today we are going to talk about the reason we argue and the only way to get the most output out of an argument. Now, if you let's get straight to the point. If you really think about it, why do we argue? You may think and you may say, "Oh, to prove the other person a certain point, to wrong the other person sometimes, to tell them that he's or she is wrong." So, or you may say, what do you call it? Like a feeling that, yeah, what you're doing or what your beliefs are correct. You may think that way. But the thing is, we don't argue because all of that small bullshit thing. The main reason we argue, if you really think about it, is to get a feeling of importance, to get a feeling of importance and to just like to feel important and be noticed in this world, right? But the way it works, it isn't how you feel, but it's more about how you make the other person feel. It's about human relations, okay? If you're talking about human relations and how to deal with people and how to get the most output out of an argument. Let's say you're in an argument with a person who says eating 10 eggs a day is unhealthy, cholesterol levels, whatever, etc. But you say, I have eaten it for a long period of time, 2, 3 months, and I've only seen more gains, more muscle, more mind clarity, more testosterone. Everything just sorts out. But the other person may pull up his uncle's heart attack, whatever the study says, and whatever uh, like like the science says. It's not even that researched. Like the argument is different. So let's say you are in an argument with that person, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It gets so worse that the other person physically abuse you or something like that. Now you have loosened that person's goodwill. That person now has his feeling of importance by slapping you or proving his point to you. And you have your feeling of importance by taking your stance and being defensive, right? Now, instead, if you have just thought, okay, man, I don't want to waste my time because this person is not going to listen and I may lose this person's goodwill. It's a waste of my time to just sit there and put my beliefs out there when I know it's not going to work. He's not going to take it seriously, right? So instead, if you just keep quiet and agree with him, yeah, man, it's bad. I think I should cut down to 5 eggs a day. You're right, etc., etc. Then suddenly you have that person's goodwill. You don't do it in a fake way. You really like show it that yeah, you're right, man. I should do it. I should do what you're saying instead. So let's say you do this, okay? But you still keep on your eating 10 eggs a day and whatever the part that improves your health, right? But he thinks that he has convinced you now and you are going to listen to him, so he's going to speak a lot more about like whatever, dude. Like you don't realize how much valuable just being quiet is, and you know how much that person is going to open up to you about his beliefs, his secrets, his strategies to make more money, his secrets about women, his like everything. He's going to open up to you everything because he thinks that you listen and you follow his advice. And on top of that, you have saved your mental energy, your time. If things have escalated further, your reputation. You have sorted the what could be the most escalated thing recently of your life to the most advantageous thing of your life in human relations. Like, this is such a big, like, in school they used to teach you about arguments, like it's like a way to operate a democracy, or to like, you get me right. There had been like a debates, like there had been debates where you pick a topic, and there are multiple people in sat in a group. You are in that group too, and you just argue with each person why your opinions are better than that person's opinion. Like, it is such a waste of time. I have always felt the best, and I have always had the most output when I have not argued, when I have just said yes about other person's belief. Like, I have never seen a single benefit coming from arguing a person who is not going to listen to you at all. And why do you think you qualify to argue with that person in the first place? What qualifies you to argue with that person? Nothing. Our beliefs are different. We were born at the wrong time. We were raised by the different parents. We were when we were going growing up, inflation was different. Recession was there, or recession was not there. Everything was different. Why do you think that this person is lost, or that you need to guide him, that you need to prove him wrong to get a validation so you can justify your fears? Nothing qualifies anyone to prove anyone wrong. Or even if you say, no, I was just confirming my own beliefs, no, you were not. Most of the times you argue for a feeling of importance, or you just want to prove the other person wrong. Now, the second thing, proving the other person wrong, is a complete waste of time. Now, if you talk about feeling of importance, that's where the game is. If you get your feeling of importance by something else, if you use that mental energy in something else, let's say instead of arguing, you you go to gym, you just focus on long term wealth, you health, whatever. So you focus on everything that's relevant to self improvement, and you say, no, I'm not going to waste my energy arguing with anyone, because it's a complete waste of time. If you really think about it, it's a complete waste of time. I don't know why people waste so much of the time arguing, where there are better things that you can do. You can sit there and listen to that person. You can sit there and open up a little bit to that person, and that person is going to come onto you like a waterfall. His beliefs are going to come onto you like crazy. He's going to open up to you a lot. And he may be a millionaire, right? He may have 10 times more money, right? So why argue with him? Sit there and listen as much as you can. Agree. Even if you think that is wrong. Let's say you are Andrew Tate. You come to me with a topic about women, and I argue with you. No, that is wrong. That is misogynist. I know that is misogynist, but I shouldn't argue. Why? Because first, I will lose Andrew Tate's goodwill, which is very important. He's a billionaire, multi-millionaire, whatever. So if I lose Andrew Tate's goodwill, I will lose so many of connections I could have made. I will lose so many of the networking I would have made. I will lose so many lessons he would have taught me. You get where the problem is? Now, a lot of people say that if the person is lower than you, what then? It's a complete waste of time, even then. I hope you really understand this because this is important. Benjamin Franklin once said that if you argue, rankle, and contradict, you may achieve a victory sometimes, but it will be an empty victory because you will not achieve the other person's goodwill. The other person's goodwill, no matter how good or bad he or she is, it is always, always underrated. I don't know, like, how should I explain this to you, but just try this. The next time you have the feeling of correcting someone or arguing with someone about something, just try, shut up, and listen and agree, maybe, if possible, agree on that thing. You will really feel this urge to correct this person, to make this person believe your beliefs are correct. But the thing is, every single time we get out of an argument, let's say the argument between me and Andrew Tate, which is you, is finished now, and I go home, every single time, me and both you included will believe that their beliefs are correct and the other person's belief were wrong. You always end an argument with yourself and the other person believing that their beliefs are even more right. There is nothing out of an argument. So the only way to avoid an argument is by agreeing and listening and uh, just not being a dickhead basically. And the only way to get the most output out of an argument is to avoid it. That's it. There is this there are reality shows literally based on this. It goes so much against this idea of handling people, having their goodwill in human relations. Not arguing is probably the best thing that will give you the most output. You know this 80-20 rule. A lot of people follow this, and I do follow this a lot. 80-20 rule basically means that in anything there is this 20% of the work that will drive 80% of the results, and there is this 80% of the work that will drive 20% of the results. So why not focus on the 20% of the work that will drive 80% of the results? Why not do that? So this 20% of the work, one of them in human relations, is to not argue at all. The next time you ever get an urge to argue with anyone, please try to understand that person and try to get your feeling of importance by something else, and not by that that sudden, like, you know, that sudden spike of dopamine you get after ending an argument and absolutely destroying the other person in that argument. Try to get that dopamine from something else, from going to the gym, clearing your mental health, like having a deep conversation with anyone, etc. Whatever you feel is really important to you, right? So the next time you have an urge to argue, contradict, and do everything possible to prove the other person wrong or to get a feeling of importance, try a different path. Hope you liked the video. The comments are open for appreciation and criticism.